I am Reed, just a normal 27-year-old guy talking about building wealth and getting your life together in your 20s. Today, we re-diving into a topic that might ruffle some feathers, quiet quitting, but hear me out. This isn't about slacking off or being a bad employee. It is about strategic detachment, a calculated move to reclaim your life and build your empire. For most of my career, I was the poster child for the grind, staying late, taking on extra projects, always chasing that next promotion, and it worked. To a point, I doubled my salary in 5 years, learned a ton, and built a solid reputation. But then, the returns started diminishing, the extra effort wasn't yielding the same results, raises became stingy, and promotions felt like an uphill battle requiring 3 to 4 years of pure grind. For a marginal gain, I was stressed, unfulfilled, and frankly a bit checked out. That is when I made a conscious decision in early 2024 to quiet quit. Now, what is quiet quitting? In my humble opinion, it is doing the bare minimum required by your job contract. No more, no less. It is about preserving your mental and physical energy for things that truly matter to you, things you own, things that light your fire. This isn't advocating for laziness. Far from it, you still show up, you still perform your duties adequately, you still meet expectations, but you don't stay late. You don't volunteer for extra tasks that significantly advance your career or your personal goals. You use that freed up time and energy to work on your dreams, to build your side hustle, to create something that is truly yours. The corporate world, let us be honest, often doesn't reward hard work proportionally. Studies show a vast majority of people are unengaged at work, doing it for the paycheck, not for passion, and the pay raise structure is often abysmal. A few percentage points a year if you are lucky. I experienced this firsthand. The only way to get a significant raise was to switch jobs entirely, which I did a few times. So for me, quiet quitting was about being disengaged because I hated my job. It was about redirecting my precious finite energy. It was a calculated risk, a deliberate choice to invest in myself rather than perpetually chasing the corporate carrot. Complexity is a status signal for people who want to feel smart but stay poor. And I was tired of that game. I wanted simple, effective, and boringly consistent. My personal pivot to quiet quitting was multifaceted. I knew I was going to fully quit at some point and I needed to establish other income streams. I was going to jump ship with just my dividend income. I needed a real cushion, a tangible alternative, a plan B. I looked at my career trajectory. A promotion early in 2024 meant another 3 to 4 years of intense effort for the next level, and I just didn't want that. The promotions and raises in corporate America are a brutal fight, and I was tired of those battles. I remember the times I thought I had a stellar year, went above and beyond, only to receive a meets expectations rating and a paltry 2% raise. It was a demoralizing cycle, and I wasn't willing to repeat it. I was already in a higher level engineering position, stressed, constantly deferred to for decisions, and the thought of even more responsibility without commensurate reward was simply unappealing. I didn't want to make my life any harder at work than it needed to be. I was also losing my passion for the work itself. I felt boxed in with little control over projects, and the job was becoming less dynamic. I craved exploration, discovery, and a rekindling of my creative spark. Often, in corporate roles, especially as you become more senior, you get pigeonholed into specific, sometimes unexciting tasks. I had very little say in the projects I worked on. It was just do this, do that. I needed to find my dynamism again to discover what truly excited me. So instead of working 50+ hours a week, chasing external validation, I became content with doing just enough to not be noticed, enough to keep things running smoothly. All that extra time and energy, it went into my personal projects, my fitness, and eventually my YouTube channel. This reallocation of resources, both mental and physical, was key to my transition. A crucial element of this strategy was emotional detachment. When you care deeply about your job outcomes, every setback feels like a personal failure. Every political battle is draining. You spend so much mental energy trying to control things that are often beyond your control, and it is exhausting. By detaching emotionally, I stopped fighting battles that weren't truly mine. I maintained a professional standard, but I wasn't chasing gold stars. I was trying to be the disruptor or the guy always voicing opinions. I just went with the flow. These aren't my battles anymore. I would tell myself this dramatically reduced my stress levels and freed up immense mental capacity. I knew I was working at my full potential. And that was okay because my full potential was now being channeled elsewhere. This shift was a game changer. It allowed me to regain control of my internal state, regardless of external circumstances at work. I also had to be careful. I didn't want to damage the reputation of a hard worker I had built over the years. I liked my colleagues and didn't want to create extra work for them or be perceived as unmotivated. So, my quiet quitting was a temporary strategic maneuver, a pre-quitting phase. It worked because I was happier, less stressed at my normal job, and I poured all that newfound energy into building my YouTube channel. It became an income generator while I was still employed. providing a crucial safety net and giving me the confidence to make the leap into full-time self-employment. By the time I left, I had at least $1,000 of income per month from my side hustles and a healthier portfolio, which provided significant peace of mind. This cushion allowed me to transition with confidence. Knowing I had multiple income streams to support me, quiet quitting can be a powerful tool, but it is not without its risks and requires careful execution. You are essentially acknowledging your current job is temporary and you are resigning yourself to its potential end. It is not for those who want to just play more video games. It is for those with a clear plan, a productive outlet for their redirected energy. If you can explain it to a 12-year-old, you are just gambling. And that applies to your career strategy too. The phenomenon is also fueled by the difficulty of getting significant raises. They tough to come by, and it is usually only a few percentage points a year for most people. If you are lucky, sometimes a bigger raise comes from building something yourself, like a freelance client or a successful side project. I gave myself a 4 to 5% raise when my channel got partnered and hit 10,000 subscribers. Even before quitting, this personal experience underscored the limitations of traditional corporate advancement. If you are constantly stressed at work, it often indicates a deep investment in outcomes. Practicing emotional detachment can be a game changer for managing that stress. It was crucial for me as I prepared to leave. This detachment allowed me to view workplace challenges with a more objective, less emotionally charged lens. Quiet quitting responsibly allows you to reclaim your work-life balance, to gain clarity, and to prevent burnout. You are not obligated to go above and beyond if you don't want to. You are obligated to meet expectations. Anything beyond that is optional. It is an opportunity cost, and sometimes your time is better spent on other things. I always say this too. You are not defined by your work, and you are not obligated to donate your time to one company. Your time is your most valuable asset, and where you invest it should be a conscious, strategic decision. However, there are significant downsides to consider. If taken too far, quiet quitting can be destructive for you, your career, and those around you. It is not something to do early in your career when you are still learning, building your network, and getting your money up. Early quiet quitting can lead to career stagnation, missed opportunities, and a damaged reputation. You want to be seen as the go-to person for promotions or new opportunities, which truly helped me early in my career. If I had quiet quit too early, I wouldn't have gained the valuable engineering experience I now possess. You might also miss out on critical skills growth, reserving yourself to not doing your job very well. Managers might see you as disengaged or unmotivated. Colleagues might resent having to pick up your slack, leading to tension and a breakdown of team dynamics. The world is smaller than you think, and a reputation for mediocre work can follow you, even outside the company. This was a real fear for me, and why my quiet quitting had to be temporary and carefully managed. My strong earlier reputation was a huge asset here. You also run the risk of increased dissatisfaction if you are doing the bare minimum for too long. It is not fulfilling to simply coast, and it can lead to further disengagement and a sense of stagnation. And in the worst case scenario, if layoffs occur, you'll be on the chopping block first. You are putting yourself at higher risk, a sacrifice you must acknowledge and be prepared for. And if you start working below the bare minimum, below what is required, that is just not a good place to be. It is immoral and potentially even illegal if you are actively working on personal projects. During company hours, I understand where companies are coming from on this point. My definition of quiet quitting is putting in the required hours, no more, no less. It is about balance, not dereliction of duty. So, should you go all in or quiet quit? It entirely depends on your situation, your phase of life, and your goals. Like, sometimes there are better alternatives, like switching jobs entirely. There are several potential benefits of switching jobs if you are truly unhappy, if you are in a truly draining or toxic situation. Full quitting should be considered as well. If you do decide to quiet quit, you need a plan, and you need to understand the why behind it. You need to fix the underlying problem. If you want to be an average employee at work so you can maximize time with your family or start a business, that is completely fine. I mean, that is pretty much what I did. But if you are quiet quitting just because you don't too like your employer or you don't too like your job, like, you should consider switching careers or jobs. Quiet quitting can harm you. You got to be careful. I do see it as kind of a necessary evil, though, if you have other priorities outside of work, because you are not obligated to donate your extra time if you don't need to. That is what trying hard is, right? It is essentially a gamble. If you are donating a ton of time to one company, you could be using that time for other things that could pay off better in the future. You just don't know until you try it. So quiet quitting shouldn't be the goal. It is just a tool. Like, use it wisely and make sure you are moving towards something better. Ultimately, it worked out for me because I had a plan and I executed on the plan. I still put in the necessary hours of work, and then I worked hard on my projects, and then it panned out for me and I was able to take the jump. So it is all just what is going to work for you. You got to have a plan. You can just blindly quiet quit without a plan. That is the ultimate takeaway here: intentionality over apathy. There you have it. Let me know your thoughts on this whole thing. It is a nuanced topic, and I am sure there are many perspectives. I've been a little bit busy, so I am hoping to be able to crank out some more videos, but I got some projects in the works right now, and I appreciate everyone as support on my videos. I will catch everyone on Learn Wednesday. which could possibly be on Thursday. We never know. Catch you all. Remember, your financial freedom is a marathon, not a sprint. And sometimes the smartest move is not to run faster, but to run smarter. Consistently, persistently, boringly. That is the path to true freedom. So go forth, make your plan, and reclaim your time.